tried driving the car right. No matter what I did, it drove the car right. So I just had to use my driving experience on and off the throttle, try to keep it off of the center line and or off of the wall, depending on what lane I was in, and just try to stay ahead of the other guy. So that's been fixed. So this weekend, as long as the weather holds up, we're hoping to see some really big times out of this car.
Okay. Hopefully the weather stays good.
Yeah. Mike's really, really meticulous about what he does with the race car. Our race cars are our babies, and Mike's car has always been his baby. I know, it's really cool. I used to work on this car about 20 years ago when he raced alcohol, and he hurt his Chevrolet real bad, and I took him over to John Force's to buy engine parts, and we switched over to a Hemi, and then I probably worked on it for another year before I moved on, and he started breaking records with that motor, and he's done really well with the car. It's blew me away. I still today can't believe that I get to drive for Mike, and the car's a great car. It was pretty cool. I fit it in a long time ago, and then I sat in it at the March meet last year. I went, don't fit like I used to fit, but I'll make it happen. I always adapt to whatever it is that I drive. So.
Yeah, that's good. So now, throughout your drag racing career, have you had any accidents or near accidents at all?
Oh yeah, I had a lot of accidents, all in the Kennys and Hughes car. My father-in-law's car, the blown alcohol, the Sifka cars, they have automatic transmissions like turbo 400s and power glide and things like that in them. And one time in Fallon, Nevada, I thought that I had the car in park, and I was going out to skate patch, and next thing I knew, I felt a bump, and I looked back, and my wheelie bars went through the Corvette body of Steve Tryon, and I'm like, oh, my Steve, I'm so sorry. And but most of my crashes, well, all of my crashes after that was in the Kennys and Hughes car. The first crash, we were in San Antonio, had a brake problem and a parachute problem, and once the brakes worked, it started hopping the back end, and the chutes got out late, and I couldn't get the car slowed down in time, and went right through the pea gravel trap and into the nets, and knocked the body off the car, bent the chassis up pretty bad. And then the time after that was the first big one with that car. Then I had a big blow up in the fire in Grand Bend, Canada. I got some pretty good in-car video of that. That was pretty crazy. There's another one floating around on the internet. Crew guys made a mistake and put the the primer bottle up in the injector, and the crew chief was kind of on the throttle when they started the car, and it took off and it ran over my crew guys.
Wow!
I got it stopped right away, but still the guys kind of got hurt a little bit, and I felt really bad. There was nothing I could have done. It was their fault, but these things are really dangerous. You got to be really careful around these things.
Yeah.
And then and then another one I had, the parachutes didn't come out. Well, they came out, but they wrapped around the rear end. In Phoenix, I was match racing Caltab and Tim Boychuk's car, and I was at the Wild Horse Raceway, and I left the property. It skipped right through the sand traps. It went 580 at 240 something. And left the property. When it left the property, it dumped about 20 feet in the air, went about 180 feet before it took a nosedive in the desert. When it took a nosedive in the desert, it twisted up the front of the car and broke the body off and stuff. Couldn't see where I was going. Didn't stop till the next road. It was pretty wicked. And then the very last one that I had was in the Kennys and Hughes Topfield Dragster. It threw the front tires off it at 800 feet. And once the parachutes came out and stuff, the wheels collapsed. But I didn't crash it. It was an incident, and I was able to keep it straight and not flip it or crash it or do anything stupid. God was riding with me on that one.
Yeah, at least you made it out okay of all these accidents.
Yeah.
The Force family's having some bad luck lately, huh?
Yeah, they're having some mechanical issues with the engines, and crew chiefs aren't getting a handle on it, and as dangerous as these things are, a lot of people are beating Force up. He has made some poor decisions, but this year I haven't seen a poor decision made by him. Right, what I see is it's some mechanical issues as of late right now.
Yeah, some people were saying maybe the cars are going too fast these days.
That's what we do, We know that we could blow up. We know that we could crash in a wall. But that's the reason for SFI. A lot of people complain about SFI. It's too much money. It's this, it's that. Well, look at these things. Look at how he just crashed into a wall last weekend in Phoenix, and how it didn't kill him. He got lucky. But all these crashes that you see in the last few years, that's a testament of our safety to these cars are doing for us. So, some of the accidents, or a lot of the accidents, we come up with new rules to make this safer. And thank God for the rules committee to make these rules that try to keep us safe in these cars. Right.
So, Michael, what do you consider milestones in your drag racing career?
One of the biggest. I never thought that I'd own my own car, so that was a milestone. And running a nitro car, and I always said that if I could drive a nitro car, I would achieve my goal and my dream. That my ultimate dream was to drive a nitro car. These cars aren't the 300-mile-an-hour car that I ultimately wanted to drive, but it's still a nitro car. So I pretty much achieved the dream that I wanted to dream, that I wanted to go for. I'm still actively trying to go after, a 300-mile-an-hour ride. Don't know if it'll ever happen, but I'm not going to stop trying. Even if it's just a test drive or something, that would make it. That would achieve what I have always looked for.
Right. Like John Hale drove the Top Fuel car, and Jim Campbell's in one now.
Yep.
So now, Michael, before we end the interview, let's do a few fun questions now.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food, enchiladas, Mexican. I love cheese enchiladas. I like pizza a lot. But of course, I don't get to eat that a whole lot because I'm a bodybuilder, so I'm always eating really healthy foods.
Right. So, what's your favorite beverage?
Favorite beverage, I think, is ice cold iced tea.
Is that what you drink at the track when it's hot?
When it's really hot, I like a peppermint iced tea. Iced tea with some peppermint in it.
Okay.
To me, that's really refreshing.
What's your favorite music?
Rock and roll, of course.
Like old rock, like classic rock.
All kinds of different rock. I love classic. I grew up with classic rock. AC/DC, Metallica, Led Zeppelin.
The 80s rock.
Yeah, like 80s rock. A lot of 80s rock. A lot of the hair band rock I like. I like a lot of Christian music too. I listen to a lot of different types of Christian music as well.
You ever listen to any Christian heavy metal like the band Stryper?
Yeah, Stryper's cool. I've been following Stryper since I was a teenager.
Yeah, they're a good band.
Yeah.
So now, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
Yes, bodybuilding and getting into karate as well. I've been doing karate for a few months. My youngest has been doing karate because she hasn't had a hobby, so we got her into karate, and she kind of slowed up, and so was kind of wanting to let it go, and we said, if Mom and Daddy did it with you, would you keep doing it? Because they can, depending on their age, they can sit in with the adults in the white belt class. So we joined that, and we've been doing that as well. So on top of the racing, I'm bodybuilding and doing karate.
Yeah.
Ladies and
Now,
gentlemen, it's about time to celebrate a new year.
Now, have you won any trophies throughout your career?
10, 9, 8,
Was that?
7,
Have you won any trophies
6,
throughout your drag racing
5,
career?
4,
Yeah, I got quite a few trophies.
1. Happy New Year!
I wish I knew how to turn the. I got a notification came in. That stupid sound came on. I don't know how to turn that thing off. So now
I can hear you better now.
Yeah. So what if you and the family take a vacation? Do you have a favorite vacation spot to go to?
There's some places that we've wanted to go to. The only vacation that my family and I have had, because of racing and stuff like that, is we actually took a vacation a couple of years ago and went to Lake Havasu and kicked it there with some junior families that we know out of Tucson, the Joneses and the Botchers, and had a great time on the river.
Do you go river rafting?
No, this is boating. You know, we water skiing and tubing, stuff like that. Lake Havasu, Arizona is it's time to party when you go to Lake Havasu.
So, what's your favorite movie of all time, Michael?
My favorite movie of all time, probably, it's called Funny Car Summer. My dad's actually in that movie. He's one of the kids that are drag racing bicycles.
That movie. What year did that movie come out?
Man, I don't know. I don't have the movie. I had it, and we lost it in a move, and so I can't even look at the case right now and tell you what year it came out. But I believe it had to have been in the 60s. So probably late 60s is when that came out, or maybe mid 60s. That was the era. My dad actually grew up in La Mirada. One of his neighbors was Ray Alley, and the other neighbor, the guy who lived across the street, around the corner, was Jim Dunn, or behind him, or something like that. The Rat Fink guy, he lived across the street from my dad. All these big-time drag race people lived around my dad and my mom as they were growing up.
Okay, now, Michael, if people want to find out where you're going to be racing at with any car that you drive, what's the best way for people to see what you're going to be doing?
Facebook. It's pretty much the only thing that I play with, and that and Instagram. You just put my name in, and I'll come up. You know, there's nothing special, just Michael Halstead, and I put up, you know, what's coming up for me or what I've done. Throughout the weekend, I take pictures and I'll put how I did in qualifying. That way, I have a lot of family that can't come, and a lot of family that don't know to watch Bing Shift, the live feeds and stuff. So I'll put up, you know, what happened with the car, if I crashed or anything like that. If everything's okay, if everything's bad. Usually, if there's bad stuff, I won't say anything, but unless it's a crash, I call my wife first and tell her, and then I'll put it up on Facebook, and this is what happened, but I'm okay, don't worry about it. So.
Right. Well, I want to thank you for your time for an interview, Michael.
You're welcome. Not a problem.
And anybody out there that's like in the California area, or if you like traveling, go out to the March meet this weekend in Bakersfield.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
All right, you have a good night, Michael.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.